After the applause faded, after the confetti rained down and the cameras turned elsewhere, Musa found himself on the rooftop of the Wasa Center, staring out at the Lagos skyline. He was still clutching the trophy. Not a golden statue, but a sleek plaque engraved with Wasa Tech Champion, Musa Kemi Sunlink, bridging Africa's digital divide. Behind him, footsteps. He turned. Zara. This time, no suit. Just her. A quiet smile on her face. "You did it," she said. "We did it," he replied. They stood in silence for a moment, the city lights dancing in their eyes. Then she held out a sealed envelope. "My father wants to offer you a place in the Wasa Accelerator. Full funding. A private lab. A 10 million naira startup grant. You'll have the best engineers in the country working under you." Musa's breath caught. 10 million naira. His dream, on rocket fuel. "And what do you want?" he asked, staring not at the envelope, but at her. She hesitated, just for a second. "I want to help you change the world. But I also want to know who you are when the world isn't watching." Musa looked down at the city. From this rooftop, Kibula felt both far and near. Mama Kemi's face flashed in his mind. Her hands. Her songs. The nights of coding beside a kerosene lamp. "This isn't just about innovation for me, Zara. It's personal. My town still has no steady light. Kids still do homework by candle." She nodded. "Then come build the bridge from here." Then, softly. "And maybe, let me walk it with you." Musa looked at her. The girl from the screen. The woman from the street. The fire behind Wasa. He reached out, touched her hand. "Zara, if we're building this future together, then yes. To everything." That night, they signed the papers together. Wasa Tech and Musa Kemi, a new partnership. But it wasn't just a business deal. It was a beginning. Of something bigger than innovation. Of love born from respect. Fire. And fight. 3 months later, a black SUV rolled into Kibula, raising dust and stirring gossip. Children chased it barefoot. Old men paused their AO games. The Accra woman gasped so hard she dropped her frying spoon. Musa was back. But not as the boy who left. This time, he wore confidence like a second skin. Behind him, engineers and camera crews stepped out with gear and gadgets. And stepping beside him, graceful, stylish, radiant, was Zara. "Who be that fine Lagos babe with our Musa?" one auntie whispered. "Nah, him investor," another whispered back. "Investor way day hold his hand." Mama Kemi stood in the doorway of their home, eyes filling with tears. Musa dropped his bags and ran into her arms. For a long moment, they didn't say a word. Just held each other in the warmth of coming full circle. "You came back," she whispered. "I told you, Mama," he said. "The boy who left, returns a builder." And build he did. With funding from the Sunlink project, Musa and his team began work on Kibula's first-ever community tech hub, powered entirely by solar energy. It had internet, a learning lab, and free coding classes for kids. He installed a village-wide Wi-Fi mesh using Sunlink servers placed on rooftops. No more walking miles for network signal. No more textbooks from 1984. Kids were now learning digital design, parents could access healthcare information, and farmers were getting weather updates in real time. The town had never seen anything like it. At the launch ceremony, Zara stood beside him, watching the community come alive. "I've never seen you smile like this," she said. "It's different," he replied, "when you light up your roots." She stepped closer. "You belong here, Musa. But I want to belong here too." And under a mango tree that once shaded his childhood dreams, he took her hand and asked softly. "Zara Wasa, will you stay?" Not as a guest. But as part of my story. She smiled. I didn't invest in you because of your invention. I invested because, you're home. They kissed, and for once, the village went silent. Even the goats seemed to pause. Because in that moment, everyone understood. This wasn't just a return. It was a rebirth. Kibula was just the beginning. Within a year, Sunlink became a name whispered across the continent. From dusty schools in Chad to remote villages in Malawi, from fishing islands in the Niger Delta to hilltop towns in Rwanda, Musa's invention was lighting up lives. Not just with electricity, but with possibility. And at the heart of it all, Musa and Zara. They didn't just build a business. They built a movement. Sunlink's logo, a rising sun over an open book, became a symbol of African ingenuity. A boy from the bush and the heiress of a tech empire, turning dreams into data, sunlight into signal. They launched Sunlink Academies, free bootcamps teaching young Africans coding, solar tech, and digital literacy. Each one named after unsung local heroes. Everywhere Musa went, he was introduced with new titles. The Tech Prophet. Africa's Solar Sun. The Village Billionaire. But Musa never forgot the mission. Or the people. I don't care for titles, he told a BBC reporter. Call me what you want. Just make sure Sunlink reaches the next village before the week ends. Meanwhile, Zara stepped out of her father's shadow. No longer just the daughter of Chief Bengawasa, she was now co-founder, head strategist, and Musa's fiercest defender in boardrooms across the globe. Some investors doubted her. Why are you investing so much in rural areas? There's no return. She looked them dead in the eye. There's no return on a dead continent. But give us light, and we'll give you the next generation of global leaders. They backed down. One night, during a tech summit in Nairobi, Musa stood on stage before world leaders, holding the very first Sunlink prototype, the ugly, hand-soldered box from his early hostel days. He lifted it high and said, This changed my life. But it was never just for me. It's a bridge. Between the forgotten and the future. Between a village dream and a global legacy. The hall gave a standing ovation. Zara watched from the front row, pride shimmering in her eyes. Later, back in their hotel room, Musa stood by the window, looking out at the city lights. Zara came up behind him, wrapped her arms around him, and whispered. Do you know what you've become? What? He asked. She kissed his cheek. You're the boy who turned sunlight into a story the world couldn't ignore. Success, they say, shines brightest just before the storm. It was supposed to be a celebration, Sunlink's one-year anniversary in Kibula. The town had never seen such color, banners, music, laughter. Children carried tiny solar lamps. Elders told stories under the baobab trees. Musa and Zara stood on stage, smiling, as Mama Kemi led a chorus of schoolchildren singing. Where the sun touches, the mind rises. But while joy burned bright in Kibula, danger brewed in the shadows. Jealousy had found a home in the hearts of men who profited from keeping the villages in the dark, corrupt officials, greedy network middlemen, even former rivals from the tech scene who had watched Sunlink eclipse them. And that night, as the celebration spilled into music and fireworks, fire broke out. The Kibula Tech Hub, the heart of the village's transformation, was engulfed in flames. People screamed. Buckets passed hand to hand. Children cried. But by dawn, all that remained was ash. The servers, the learning center, the solar grid, destroyed. Musa stood in the ruins, fists clenched, eyes red. They sent a message, one of the engineers said. Musa nodded. Then we'll send one louder. But that night, alone with Zara beneath the mango tree, his strength cracked. I built this for them. Now I've brought danger to their doorstep. Zara took his hand. You didn't bring danger. You brought change. And change always brings fear. He turned to her, his voice shaking. What if I can't protect what we've started? Then we rebuild stronger, she said. But not as two separate sparks. She reached into her bag, pulled out a small velvet box, and, yes, she knelt. Musa froze. Zara, what are you doing? What my heart has been telling me since the night we rebuilt Sunlink in that dusty hostel. She opened the box, a simple, hand-carved ring made from the wood of the kibula tree that shaded his childhood. Musa Kemi. Will you let me walk with you, not just through light, but through fire? He laughed, half in shock, half in joy. Then he dropped to his knees too. Only if I get to ask next time. They kissed under the starlight, surrounded by soot, but fueled by something stronger than ashes. By morning, the villagers returned, not with sorrow, but with bricks. We build again, Mama Kemi said. From the ground. Together. Because Musa didn't just give them Wi-Fi. He gave them hope. The sun rose over Kibula like a promise. The ruins of the tech hub were gone, replaced by a new building, bigger, stronger, and shining with fresh solar panels that caught the morning light like 1,000 tiny mirrors. The whole village had come together. From the youngest children to the elders, everyone had helped rebuild. And at the heart of it stood Musa and Zara, not just as leaders but as partners, ready to face whatever came next. Today was more than a reopening. It was a celebration of resilience. Mama Kemi held her grandson's hand tightly as she watched Zara slip the hand-carved ring onto Musa's finger. You have my blessing, she said, tears shining like diamonds. The crowd cheered. Musa raised his voice, steady and strong. This is not just a hub. This is a beacon. For every child who dreams beyond the stars, for every village forgotten by time, for every heart daring to hope, where the sun touches, the future rises. Zara smiled, her eyes locking with his. Together, they launched the next phase of Sunlink, a network expanding beyond borders, connecting villages, cities, and countries, a living web of light and knowledge. But their greatest invention was never the technology. It was the bridge between two souls who dared to believe in more than themselves. As the sun climbed higher, shining on Kibula's new dawn, Musa whispered softly to Zara. This is just the beginning. And with their hands intertwined, their love and dreams radiated farther than any network ever could, lighting the way for generations to come. Thank you for walking with us. From dusty village roads to city skylines glowing with promise. From a broken prototype to a continent connected by light. This was Musa's journey. A story of love. Of fire. Of freedom through innovation. If this tale lit a spark in you, hit that like button, subscribe, and share this story with someone who needs a little sunlight today. Until next time. Keep dreaming. Keep building. And may your light shine as bright as the African sun.